All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Dynamics 365 tips and tricks and Office. We're going to combine them from now on. So the Dynamics 365 and Office 365 tips and tricks webinar for this month. I'm just going to edit my email in here. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to email me at megan@marksgroup.net. But okay, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about the following 3 tips. First, we will talk about the new storage analysis page and storage administration page for Dynamics 365. With the new UI and version 9, they've really revamped that, and you have a much more detailed look at what's consuming your storage. So if you're constantly finding that your organization is running low on storage, this is going to be a great place for you to look. Next, we're going to just quickly go over some new view options for sorting and filtering. And then we are going to pivot over to Office 365 and look at the basically copying over your Gmail or Google Calendar into your Outlook in case you need to see that for whatever reason. Maybe you have multiple organizations that you're working for, or you have your personal or family calendar in Google Calendar and you want to see that in Outlook. We're going to take a look at how to do that. All right, so we're going to get started with the Dynamics 365 storage analysis tip. So we're going to go ahead and go to admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. You can just type that straight into the your browser, and that'll take you to the Dynamics 365 administration page. I think it's a lot easier than trying to click through the Office 365 admin menu options and stuff. So I would suggest just typing that straight into your browser and you'll end up at this page. So we're going to go ahead and select one of these. Oh, actually, I take that back. So we can actually just expand resources here on the left. Okay, so we can expand resources over on the left and go over to capacity. And this is going to open up our storage usage. So initially, when you open this up, you'll see each environment's storage, and then an additional breakdown of capacity storage by what category is using it, I guess is the best way to describe it. So we have database, log, and file. A database is going to be where the bulk of your actual data lies. Log is going to contain things like audit logs, and file is going to have stuff like notes and attachments. We'll also see in this table to the right, storage capacity by source. So we will see the what's being used up in terms of the actual organization, user licenses, etc. And we'll see that right there. And this is all under the summary page. But if we go to storage capacity, this tab here, we have the option to actually drill into each environment. So we're going to open up just our plain old Marks Group environment. And once this loads, we're going to see a couple of things here. So first, we're going to see a couple of things here. So first, we're going to see the database usage. Then we will see file usage and then log usage below that. And then over to the right, we'll see an actual table breaking down each, or I should say a chart breaking down each table. So we'll see this is web resource that's using up a lot of storage comparatively. And again, this is our test environment. So in an actual production environment, this might look a little different. But so you might see the actual entity that's being used. Okay. And then below that, under file, we'll see a similar thing for it says analytics for workflow, role, organization, etc. So these are all files associated with those tables. And again, in a typical production environment setting, this is probably going to be listed, or you'll probably see note or attachment tables here. And then finally, down here, you're basically just going to see two tables here, plugin trace and audit base. So one of these is the plugin log table, and the other is the audit log table. So again, no matter what you're using your environment for, you'll pretty much only see two tables in this section. Okay, so moving on, that just about covers it, and then you'll see the sum of each category's usage here over on the left. Okay, so this is how you can identify. What's consuming the most storage in your environment. And you can download a chart or a list of all of these tables by going over here, clicking the three lines, and then saying download all tables. Okay, so we're going to go over to our opportunities. And again, this is the new UI version 9. So from here, you may have noticed this already, but they've added a couple of sorting and filtering options to views. Previously, when you clicked on any column to sort, you would, I think, immediately sort by descending order. Or I'm sorry, ascending order. So it would go from A to Z, and then you would have to click it again a second time, and the page would refresh, and then you would click it a second time, and the sorting would go from Z to A, or descending. So you might notice now you can click this just once, and you can decide if you want to sort A to Z or oldest to newest, depending on what kind of field this is, or smallest to largest. Yeah. And this is a huge time saver for me. This is one of my favorite little tiny features they've added recently, because when you've got a big view or if things are running slowly, it is such a pain to have to, and often, you know, created on is at the very end of the table. So you would scroll over to created on and then click the created on column to sort it from, because I want to see the most recently created record. I'd click the created on column and it would sort from oldest to newest, and then I would have to wait for the page to reload, scroll all the way over again, and then click it again to have it sort from newest to oldest. No more. This is way faster. So it was a long-winded explanation, but this truly saves me a lot of time. This is awesome. So you can really quickly decide if you want to sort from newest to oldest or oldest to newest just with one click. And then you can also open up kind of a more complicated filter in this same area, and you've got all of your normal or your usual date filtering options here. So yeah, this is how filtering has just improved so much. You can also open up this advanced filtering panel by clicking this here. I don't typically use this, but just know that this is an option. Okay, so that just about covers it for the new filtering and sorting options in here. And again, it's contextual depending on the type of column, so or the type of field that the column is for. So you can, for example, for the status column, you can just have you have little check boxes for each of the statuses. If it's a text field, you'll have the text filtering options. So really improved, small feature, but really helps with usability, I think. Okay, so we're going to move over to Office 365 now. And I've got my Google Calendar open here. And we are going to basically copy this calendar over to copy this calendar over to Outlook. No, I can't get rid of this. Let's just try a straight up page refresh. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and copy over this calendar to Outlook. And it is a synced calendar, so any changes you make in the Google Calendar are going to show up in Outlook pretty much immediately. So it stays up to date automatically, but you cannot make any updates or create new events from Outlook and have them sync back without some more complicated setup. And I think almost always this requires payment. So this is just a free way to view a synced copy of a Google Calendar. So if we go over to, you open calendar.google.com, go over to settings and sharing for the calendar you want to copy over, and I believe it's under integrate calendar. And you're going to go ahead and copy this secret address. And then we're going to open up Outlook. And we will go to File, Account Settings, and then Account Settings one more time. And it's going to open up this, and you're going to see the tab Internet Calendars. So this is where we're going to add our new calendar. This is where you're going to copy that URL that you just copied from Google, that secret address. And when you click next, you'll have the option to name the calendar, give this whatever you want it to be labeled in Outlook, in the Outlook calendar. That's what you should name this folder name. So we will call this Sage and Spruce. I'm not sure you can have ampersand, so Sage and Spruce. All the rest of this stuff looks good. Okay, and then we'll just click OK. And then close, and it'll run once to update. And then when we go over to our calendars, and I open this up, you're going to see under other calendars any Google calendars you've added using this method. So if we say, I think I created a test. Oh no, I did not. So let's go ahead and create some event in this calendar. And we'll just call this test. And if we go ahead, this might take a couple minutes, but we'll try to go to send and receive and see if we can just update this really quick. Yep, and sure enough, you'll see any new appointments pop up pretty much whenever the send and receive process is run. So there's our test appointment that we just created. And again, you can't make any changes or create new events from Outlook and have them show up in your Google Calendar, but you can update anything from Google itself, and they'll all copy over here. So this is particularly handy if you have like your personal or some other calendar that you want to keep track of in Outlook. This is a great way to do that. So just a quick summary. Today we talked about storage analysis in Dynamics 365, new sort and filter options for Dynamics 365, and adding a synced copy of your Google Calendar to Outlook, and on the Outlook side it's read-only. So if you have any other questions about these tips and tricks, you can feel free to either leave a comment on the actual blog posts at marksgroup.net/blogs, or you can send me an email at megan@marksgroup.net. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you next time.